And within a small conversation, the entire carpet was ripped out from underneath me, and my only source of income was shut off. My routine of getting up in the morning and going to work was suddenly done. I was done. And I just remember feeling so heartbroken, and I felt like I was getting a slap in the face. And I just thought, never again. I've got to figure out how this kind of behavior and these kind of results and this kind of power, when it comes to influencing me in my life and my lifestyle and my source of income, I want to have control over that. Hey, Laptop Freedom Babes, Wonderlust.
This is Hello from Greece.
Hello. Hi, ladies. I wanted to come in here and share with you a annual reflection that I downloaded last week. I was thinking back I was asking myself, where was I this time last year? And my jaw hit the floor. It actually blew my mind. And I connected with Katie and Rachel, and I was like, ladies, let me remind you where I was last year. And we all just went into this mentality of OMG and how times have changed. And I really felt called to share it with you ladies. So around this time last year, I was working in the film industry, sitting at a desk for 12 hours a day, assisting a producer that like blatantly ignored my existence, except for the few times she would get me to run errands for her. And my most infamous errand was to go out and buy her a new toilet seat for one of the many bathrooms in her house. A toilet seat. That was basically what my job entailed for this person. And I was so crushed. I was so unhappy. And you might ask yourself, like, well, how'd you get there? How did you get to a position where you were assisting a producer that didn't want you, didn't need you, ignored you? Well, before her, I was the executive assistant to one of the biggest producers in town. I was working on one of the sexiest shows, and I was soaking in all the perks, to work that closely with a man of that much influence and power. I felt like a queen. I thought life was good. And then #MeToo came out. And the producer I was assisting basically freaked out about having a young female assistant during the era of #MeToo. He is, I don't know, extremely egotistical, and he was very dependent on his status and what people thought of him. And so he took no risk at all. #MeToo came out, and in the course of a day, half a day, he had fired me and hired this older male assistant to replace me. And that was it. It was like, hey, Rebecca, we're going to let you go. Pack up your things. You're out by the end of the day. And in the film industry, everyone's a contract worker, but you don't really work for yourself. So they can do that. They can drop you. They don't need to give you 2 weeks notice. They don't need to pay you for 2 more weeks. I went from thinking I was living the highest of highs, and within a small conversation, the entire carpet was ripped out from underneath me, and my only source of income was shut off. my routine of getting up in the morning and going to work was suddenly done. I was done. And I just remember feeling so heartbroken, and I felt like I was getting a slap in the face. And I just thought, never again. I've got to figure out how this kind of behavior and these kind of results and this kind of power, when it comes to influencing me in my life and my lifestyle and my source of income, I want to have control over that. So I ended up working for the producer who ignored my existence in order for me to sort of make some money to figure out what on earth I was going to do. And it was such a transformation because for years, for my whole life, I knew I was going to work in the film industry. Obviously, that's what I told my parents I was going to do. They liked the sound of it. They saw me splashed on the cover of magazines. They saw me making movies. They saw me raking in millions. This is what I was going to do. I studied this. I was going to work in the film industry, and suddenly I had this huge wake-up call, and I was like, no, I am going to work for myself. That is what I'm going to do. It's not based on the industry. It is, I need to put myself first. And when I step into the alignment of serving myself, the universe will get on the same page as me. It'll understand what I'm talking about. It'll be like, okay, girl, I get ya. You are putting yourself first. You're serving yourself first. You're filling your cup up first. And from that overflow, you will make a difference in this world. So in all my downtime of being ignored, in between running errands of getting toilet seats, I was on the internet a lot, and I found the Laptop Freedom Program, and, well, here I am today. It totally changed my life. I was able to take the skills that I had honed from being an assistant before, and honestly just living life as an organized individual, and take that, start my own VA business, and work remotely. And it has blown my mind and put the biggest smile on my face. The demonstration of when you step into alignment with your vision and what truly makes you happy, all the pieces of my puzzle just fell together and are still falling together. So I got my first major VA client. I said adios to the producer, who I'm not even too sure she remembers my name. And I took a really scary leap. I got up in the morning and I didn't go to work physically. I stayed at home and I worked from the kitchen table, suddenly like trying to make this thing work. And when I started to work from home, and when I started to work remotely, and when I started to work for myself and set my own boundaries, set my own schedule, the world that I had created for myself, that I thought was what I wanted, it just became evidently clear that it wasn't my source of happiness. In fact, I started to live in two places at once. Half in the city I was living in, and the other half in a mountain town up the road that has always had my heart. And I was able to live in two places at once because I worked remotely. I would just bring my laptop. But it was exhausting. It was really, really exhausting me. I felt like I was only going home to my place in the city to do laundry now at this point. I wasn't working there. That was it. I was living out of a bag, trying to be in this mountain town as much as I could, just going home to do laundry. One time when I was in the mountain town, I was there on a Tuesday, which I would never normally be able to do, but I brought my laptop up with me and I worked from a co-working space on a Tuesday. That night, I went and hung out with a friend that I don't normally get to hang out with because they're normally working. And we went to a bar that I don't normally go to on a Tuesday. I'm never there on a Tuesday. And standing in that bar ended up being the guy in my dreams. And we met. And I'm in a very great relationship with him right now. But it's funny, we reflect back and we realize that, in fact, there were many, many times in the past 10 years where we crossed paths. We were in the same place at the same time. We were across the street from each other. We were at the same dinner party. And we didn't meet. We didn't meet yet because it wasn't the right time. I didn't have the flexibility to meet someone that didn't live in the same city as I did, who didn't work 12-hour days, pretending that film was what they wanted to do. And then soon after that, I had a friend, landlord friend, give me a call, and he said, "Hey, a place has become available in this great little mountain town. Do you want to move back up full time? What keeps you in the city?" Within a month, I had totally packed up my life. I had moved to this beautiful mountain town, and I am now nurturing, and I have the ability to nurture a relationship I am so proud of because I have the flexibility to do so. I have the flexibility to meet him for lunch. I have the flexibility to take time and care and sleep in and whatever it is with my partner. And everything has fallen into alignment. And this was a year ago. Over the course of a year, this has changed. And it doesn't sound like a lot of time, and it's not a lot of time, but it doesn't take a lot of time. The universe is just waiting for you to tell it the truth, to give it requests based in pure self-truth. And then the universe is like, there it is. Great. Okay. Are you ready? Because I'm about to throw at you everything that you want that's in alignment with your vision and that makes you happy. Because you just made a request based in real, pure, self-serving truth. So I wanted to share that with you, ladies, because I know what brought you here is this really deep down knowing that you're not quite in alignment with your vision. You're not doing the type of work that fulfills you and makes your lifestyle what you want it to be. You feel that you're making sacrifices. And I can tell you that when you start to work for yourself and work remotely and make choices and have the power to make choices that are in alignment with what you want and with your vision, it's so empowering. And that is when you're like, okay, this is what you do with the life that you've been given. This is what you do.